every person that I come across, I can learn something from. So as you start thinking about centers of influence, start making yourself a list. The people that you write down, the big question that I would have from the beginning is, who wants to see me succeed? Who is taking an interest in my business? Who's coming up to me at church saying, I noticed you're in insurance. I saw you on Facebook. How's that going? It's going to be hard to find this one that kicks it all off. But people that want to see you succeed, invest in that. Run with it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Medicare Sales Playbook. I'm your host, Dallas Keithley, and I'm joined today by our co-host, the very lean, the very tall, the very handsome, and we're still doing $20 per, right?
Yeah, well, 15, but yeah, I mean,
15
so
times
you need
are
one
hard.
more. You need to get one more in there.
Times are hard. I'll take it. So. Mr. Medicare Matt Smith is with us. Welcome back, man.
Man, it is great to be back.
It's been a minute.
It has been. Thanks for inviting me back.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you coming in here. And guys, the reason we have Matt on here is dude has forgotten more about Medicare than most people will ever know. And so it's hard for me to say, not because, it's just hard for me to compliment him. No, it always does a great job. And
I appreciate that.
Yeah. That. So today we're going to do some trainings and really get into some stuff that we want new agents to be able to take home and start to use. And this first topic we're going to talk about on today's episode is something that Luke Acree kind of got me thinking about.
Okay.
On his most recent podcast that we did with him, he talked about having centers of influence.
Okay.
People that are interested in your business. And you and I were talking before we started recording about what is a center of influence. And really you said, well, is it like a BNI referral partner? It's really more than that. What I look at as a center of influence is someone that is running a business successfully, may not be insurance, probably isn't insurance, someone that takes an interest in you and wants to see you succeed, someone that knows how to put together a business plan, that goes back to that running a business successfully, and they have the time and energy and effort in order to help and desire to help you out, right? So we're going to talk about what that is. And in talking with Luke, he said, man, if a person over 10 years would develop 300 centers of influence, they could not help but be a millionaire.
Do you think, I got a bunch of questions here that I want to ask you because, I mean, obviously I just got a bunch of questions. So we're going to go through a bunch of my questions because really, I know you've got a lot. To share on this.
Yeah.
You've got a lot upstairs on this one. So
I've been thinking about this a lot.
Yeah,
I really have.
And I'm excited for it. I'm excited to talk through this. So kind of walk through this a little bit. So obviously having a centers of influence, you very quickly and kind of loosely defined like who it is that you're looking for. So I want you to really step back at the very beginning. So I'm a business owner. First off, let's think about this. First off, there's probably a lot of businesses out there, probably a lot of business owners who do not know what a center of influence is, number one.
Right.
And even if they do, they probably don't have a center of influence.
Yeah.
What do you think it is? Like, why do you think that there are a lot of folks out there who just have not taken on this or bitten on this piece of their business for their business?
Well, I think a couple reasons. One, I think maybe sometimes we have.
Okay.
We just don't call it that.
That's
it could be called a mentor or something like that. But a lot of times when it comes to mentorship, we kind of just take like the low-hanging fruit.
Okay.
But we don't dive into it. It takes some humility, first off, to go to someone and say, hey, I would love your help. I would love to, and a lot of people are going to view this when we get done and say, okay, this is just a way for me to get referrals. It is that, but it's more than that.
Sure.
Before you ask for referrals, the people have to see value in what you do.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Love that.
Your center of influence is going to be someone that sees value in what you do because they have a vested interest in it.
Okay.
They want to see you succeed. So let's back up. Let's talk about, you said, why don't people do it? So let's say I'm a brand new agent.
Okay.
Right? and you are a successful business owner.
Sure.
Let's say you own a sporting goods store.
Let's go with that. Love that.
Yeah, I stereotyped.
Driven? Can I be golf
I was going to
driven?
go basketball because.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do.
Golf
Okay.
driven, whatever.
Yeah.
It's your fantasy. Let's do it. Okay. So let's say I come to you.
Okay.
You have, because you have proven, I'm looking at you, you've got 4 stores
Okay.
that are doing extremely well.
Sure.
Obviously, you have a mission statement.
Mm-hmm.
You have core values.
Sure.
You have a employee handbook.
We hope.
Right? I mean, if you've got 4 stores, yeah. If you don't, let's hope you have an attorney. So I come to you and I say, listen, I am interested in, I just got my insurance license. I want to do this the right way. I don't want to be just somebody that goes out and writes Meemaw and Peepaw and mom and dad and my sister and her husband and her husband's brother and his wife. Like, I want to be a real business where I have a networking plan, a marketing plan, a business plan. So would you help me? Who in the world is going to say no to that?
I mean, I don't think there's a lot that will, but I do think you have some that will, because they're gonna ask the question of what's in it for me.
Yeah.
And you said something there that now I've forgotten. So quickly it happened.
You're running 4 golf stores, man. I get it.
I'm a busy guy.
Right. So
I had a good question for you, though.
The what's in it for you is, and if that is the question, it's probably the wrong person, because the what's in it for them ought to be apparent. It's my success. Plus, as my business grows, I'm going to bring you people and all that. But I tell my girls all the time, there are 2 types of people in this world: people that want to see you succeed and people that don't.
Sure.
I don't have any time for anybody that doesn't. I want to invest in those that do. So let's say I come to you and I'm like, okay, I need a business plan. So would you be willing to sit down with me and show me your business plan?
Sure.
Right? Core values, mission statement, all that stuff. And then show me how to. Now, the only other reason they might not do it because of time is they don't feel worthy. Like, they're like, who am I to tell you how to do it? But
because you're coming, and I might not feel worthy. I might not feel like I've got 4 golf stores, but I might not feel like I'm worthy of that. I don't want to call it mentorship, but I'm not worthy of that position. But the product of you asking that for me, should validate that person who's got that concern. I mean, if I'm coming to you and asking you for this and you're like, I don't know if I'm really worthy, the fact that I'm looking up to you and to your business and to what you're doing, I would hope that would clear that one off the table.
It would. And now I want to back up here too.
Okay.
A lot of people will do this. You got to be careful that this does not feel like a sales tactic, that I just want to sit down and sell you a policy.
Sure.
It may come to that. But if I lead with that, they're going to see right through it and be like, okay, this is just, this dude's trying to get me enlisted in Amway or whatever. You really have to, and no offense to Amway listeners, I know we've got a lot of Amway listeners. I don't want it to feel like that. I want it to feel like I am an admirer of yours, and I genuinely want your input. Okay. So I come to you and I say, hey, listen, I want to sit down with you once a week or whatever. And I want to look at your store. I want to look at what you're doing, all of that stuff. Okay. So then I've got some qualifications though for finding that person.
Okay.
So here's what that person needs to be. Number one, they need to be honest.
Okay.
You don't in your business need more yes men. You don't need somebody that's just going to say, yeah, buddy, you're killing it. You're killing it. You're killing it. You need somebody that will be honest with you. The second is you need somebody that's ethical. We all know, as much as any business in the world, the insurance business, there is opportunity to be unethical, especially on the Medicare side.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of rules. There's a lot of stipulations, stuff like that. You need somebody that's going to be able to say, hey, I like your marketing plan, but it looks like it falls outside the guidelines of Medicare.
Sure.
So they need to be honest, ethical. They need to be experienced. There are so many. We had Norma Johnson on here the other day, and she said, Dallas, tell your new agents, get off a lot of these Facebook groups. There's a lot of people that are telling you how to sell a plan that have never sold a plan in their life. Now, in this case, we're not talking about somebody that's selling plans. So you're not measuring their experience in that, but you're measuring their experience in their business.
Okay.
Right? I want to see some success. That more than just Facebook experience.
Yep.
Right? Somebody that really knows what they're doing. They need to be admirable. In other words, you look up to them. We talked about that. And they need to be helpful. They need to have that spirit of being helpful. Now, a lot of times what I see is with business owners, there are 2 or 3 people in the business, right? Like I'm thinking of agents now. We've got agents that their business is taking off because they are the aggressor, right? But then they have an assistant that handles the organization side of it.
Sure.
They've got somebody that handles the marketing side of it. So you want to grab all of that. So it may be sitting down with a team. So the qualifications, again, honest, ethical, experienced, admirable, and helpful. The purpose, there's 4 things that I wrote down here for purpose.
Okay.
The purpose of a center of influence is they help you structure your business.
Okay.
We talked already.
Yep.
And man, we've been doing some interviews with different people. And Tony Holland, Luke Acree, Christian Brindle, I talked to him yesterday. All of them said one of the biggest faults of a new Medicare agent is they do not have a business structure. They're just going out writing whoever they can, right? They're not incorporated, any of that.
Do you think that and I agree with you. Do you think it's because there is a lot of those they don't consider themselves a business.
Right.
For start, I'm just Matt, I sell insurance. They don't consider themselves a business. And so for that reason, they don't think it's necessary to have a business plan, to have a business center of influence, to have a business mentor, because I'm just me doing my thing.
Well, and that's okay, I guess, if that's all you ever want to do.
Sure.
On our very first podcast, Tony Merwin said, the way we got big is we envisioned what we wanted to be and we acted like we were that already. Right? So if all you ever want to do is, look, I'm Matt, I sell insurance policy on the weekend. You know, when I'm golfing with my buddies, I'm like, hey, do you have life insurance? You want me to take a look at it? Make sure you're not spending too much money. Okay, if that's all you ever want to be, that's fine.
Yeah.
But man, when you start building a business that way, but you say then, okay, here in 5 years, I want to have 10 downlines and I want to be running a successful business, your foundation isn't set, so your whole business is going to crumble.
Sure.
So starting it from the beginning correctly. So a center of influence is going to be somebody that says, hey, hold up. Listen, yeah, that's great. But, you know, a lot of times we even have to go back to pre-contracting, because if you want to be incorporated, that needs to be decided before.
Talked about that before, yeah.
Before contracting. So they're saying, okay, listen, I know you're eager and that's awesome, right? But
pump the brakes.
Let's pump the brakes. Let's go back. Let's do it right from the beginning. So they're helping you structure that business and really make sure that you've got the attorney that you're going to need. They make sure you've got the accountant that you're going to need. They're introducing you to people that they've used, you know?
Sure.
Right? So structuring your business is huge. Number 2, they help you build your business. That is not just them saying, hey, I've got a referral. It is that. They're referring you to people, but it's more than that. It's them saying, okay, what's your marketing plan? Like, how much do you have in your marketing budget? This is what I spend, you know, at your golf store. How much do you spend every year on a marketing budget? What have you done that has been successful? What have you done that's failed? You know, Isaac Newton said, we see into the future by standing on the shoulders of those that have gone before us. And I may have even somewhat been close to getting that right. So
I mean,
that's amazing.
It sounded good.
Yeah.
It sounded wonderful.
There we go. But now I got to give you $15 back. But avoiding pitfalls is a huge part of a center of influence, because, you know, I may come to you and say, hey, I noticed you invested in TV, you know, and you got on there and did some commercials. How did that go? And you're like, oh, that was awful.
I wouldn't do it if I were you.
Yeah, that was horrible.
Yeah.
Like, we got more complaints out of that than we did customers. So it's just seeing that and helping you build your business, making sure that, okay, you don't have any money now. So what are some ways that you can get in front of people now? But then when you do get in front of people, are you taking a percentage of that and putting it into marketing and putting it into leads or putting it into ads, or what are you doing? So it's helping you build your business. It's accountability is the third one I wrote down.
Okay.
So it's structure, it's building your business, it's accountability.
Love that.
Accountability is so huge because it's easy to lie to me. Like if I'm me.
Sure.
I can sit down, this morning, I'll be real honest, I get up and I usually work out.
Okay.
Last night I told myself I was going to get up and work out.
Okay.
This morning I had several reasons that myself and I both agreed with.
Yeah.
And we're like, I get your point. Your neck kind of hurts this morning. You're kind of in a hurry. It would be better for you to get to the office. Mm-hmm. So me to lie to me, that's easy.
Did you work out?
No, I did not. Listen, this is truth hour here. We're telling the truth here. I'm going to do it this afternoon. My gym clothes are in the car.
Okay.
Right. But
holding you to that.
Okay. See, now I have an accountability partner. Right.
Yeah.
Like you may even get creepy this afternoon and be like, "Hey, Dallas, where you at?
Are you following you?
Yeah, you're following me. You usually do, but we're going to take a different route this
I'll be
afternoon.
one car length behind you this time.
So yeah. You're easy to spot though. But the accountability partner is the person saying, "Hey, listen, we set up a marketing plan. Mm-hmm. Are you taking 30% of everything you made and putting it into leads? Are you calling those leads? Part of our networking group, and you said you were going to join this networking group. You said you were going to spend this much. You said you were going to make this many dials. Are you doing that? Yeah. So it's just that accountability. And then the last one I said is kind of the very first thing we said is somebody that'll say no to you.
Yeah.
I was listening to Cody talk on one of his podcasts or something here recently, and he said, "Man, the other day, I had an amazing idea." He said, I was on an airplane and it hit me. I could do this and this and this. He said, I went back to my team and they're like, respectfully, Cody, that's one of the dumbest things we've ever heard. Now, those people no longer work for him. No, I'm just kidding. But they were honest enough to say, Cody, great idea. Like, I love the way you're thinking. Yeah. However, that's one of the dumber things you ever thought of. And he looked at it and he said, you know what? You're right.
Sure.
But without those people, without that center of influence, saying, hey, listen, you probably shouldn't wear a sandwich board everywhere you go with all of the rates for the med subs in this area. Like, that's not a great idea.
It's not a bad idea.
Actually, yeah. There's some people out there right now that's all they're going to get from this episode.
Sandwich board, med sub rates, busiest intersection in town.
Busiest intersection in town.
I mean, there's worse plans out there.
I don't hate it, honestly.
There's worse plans out there. Okay, so Dallas, that's a lot. And I know we have more to unpack, but finding somebody with these qualifications, honest, ethical, experienced, admirable, helpful, somebody who's going to pour in with the purpose of this center of influence of structuring your business, building your business, keeping you accountable and telling you no, that's a lot. Mm-hmm. That is a lot.
Right.
And it's going to be really hard because it might be trial and error, because it sounds like you are going to run the potential of finding somebody who you think is going to be a center of influence, and it turns out that maybe that person is really just a good referral partner.
Yeah.
Or maybe that person is just a mentor in this other aspect of your business, but in terms of a center of influence. Do you think it's going to be hard? Do you think it's going to be difficult to find a person who meets all of these qualifications and is willing to pour into you? And how do you go about finding that person?
To answer your question, yes, it's going to be difficult, but it's going to be worth it.
Okay.
Right? I think a very honest, upfront meeting needs to happen.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so how to find them, how to approach them. First of all, you find somebody that is doing well.
Sure.
In their business, and you study them for a while. This is not an emotional knee-jerk reaction.
Okay.
It's somebody that you say, hey, listen, I've been watching you for a while.
Yep.
You get up every day. You listen to these podcasts every day. You pour into people. I would be honored if you would pour into me, and I want to sit down with you and lay out exactly what I'm looking for.
Okay.
Right? So you sit down with that person and you lay this all out. The thing that I wrote down is, number one, you be very prepared. This is what I'm looking for.
Sure.
I want somebody, step one, we're going to do this. We're going to structure my business. Step two, we're going to build my business. Step three, and I'm going to do the work. I just need you sitting there saying, hey, this works, this doesn't.
Okay.
And I need an accountability partner. And it's okay, Matt, before we sit down, it's okay. I'm going to show you everything that I'm looking for. You may be part of it. You may be none of it. You may be all of it.
Sure.
Please be honest with me.
Yeah. Be honest. Be honest with the things that you can and cannot contribute to.
Right. Because I understand that you are a successful person and you're very busy. But man, I would love it.
Yeah.
If you would. And that takes a lot of humility because I am sitting here. So imagine if we're doing this, right? Mm-hmm. I'm sitting here and I'm like, gosh, this is hard to ask. And we assume that you are feeling, oh, this is going to suck, right? Yeah. This guy. But really, what you're probably feeling is, wow,
this is cool.
This guy really looks up to me.
Yeah.
And this is somebody that's really serious about this business, that wants to succeed. And I believe, the Bible talks about Paul and Timothy. I believe everybody needs a Paul, somebody they look up to.
Sure.
And I believe everybody needs a Timothy, somebody that they are mentoring and helping and stuff like that.
Sure.
And I believe that a successful business person, one, I don't think you got to 4 golf stores by yourself. You had somebody. Mm-hmm. So you see the value in that. Therefore, you're willing to pass that on to somebody else.
Absolutely.
Right.
Giver's gain. Isn't that the
giver's
word?
Gain, man. Yeah. So preparation, then once they agree, yes, okay, I will help you do all this. Then you set a regular schedule. In the beginning, it probably needs to be more often.
Okay.
Once a week, whatever.
In person, face to face.
In person, face to face, sitting down with them, saying, okay, let's have breakfast at 5 a.m. Show me. Yeah. That's a no from me, dog.
I'm going to pass on your center of influence. You had me till right
there, no, just because, I love early morning stuff.
Yeah.
Because it shows me that person is really serious.
Sure.
If somebody wants to get together with me at 2 o'clock on Friday, one, they're probably not going to show up.
And 2, I'm probably going to say no anyway.
Yeah. But, 5 a.m. on a Wednesday, I'm like, okay, this kid is really serious, right? And I'm going to make him, I'm not going to show up for the first 3. No, I'm just kidding.
I'll be 15 to 20 minutes late every time, but I will be there.
I will be there. No. And then the follow-up. And those every week, it's going to turn into once a month, which is going to turn into, let's just have a few phone calls here and there just to make sure you're doing okay. But imagine if somebody poured all of that into you, right? Imagine if somebody, every person that they meet, they're going to be like, hey, you got to see my guy Dallas. He's working hard over here. First off, they're probably going to do business with you. Mm-hmm. Second off, they're going to refer everybody that they know to you because they have put in some work.
Sure.
They've put in some effort and they want to see you succeed. Imagine having 10 of those.
Well, that was going to be my next question is, what Luke said, 300?
Boo.
That's a lot.
That's over 10 years.
I don't know if I know 300 people, but realistically, you should probably start off with one, but at what point would you think as a business owner, at what point should I start seeking out others? Is it whenever that initial center of influence person, like you're my guy, right? Mm-hmm. You're my guy. We started meeting once a week. And then, we started meeting every other week, and now we're meeting once a month. And now we're just having a phone call quarterly, and we might get together for breakfast once every now and then and just have a conversation. At what point do you think that I should go out and start seeking out another center of influence?
Well, I think your second, third, fourth center of influence is probably not going to be as in depth.
Well, that was going to be, I wanted to have a second part to that is, when should I seek out a second one or a third or a fourth or a fifth? And should that center of influence, should it be somebody who is as broad, or as I'm going further into my business, are my centers of influence going to narrow in scope?
Yes. Because I think in the beginning, it's going to be, hey, help me with all of this. Mm-hmm. Your second, third, fourth one may be, hey, I love how you network.
Yes.
Can I look at what you do there?
I love how you do social media.
I love how you do social media. Can I learn from you there? Hey, I love how you manage your time. Can I look at what somebody else is doing. Look at what somebody else is good at. And man, I can learn from everybody.
Sure.
I have things that I'm good at, but I have a lot of things where I need to improve.
Of course.
And I think it's funny. We are made to be that way. Even like my wife and I, there are things that she is very good at that I'm glad she's very good at because I'm not very good at them at all.
Yeah.
And man, if I was trying to raise kids by myself, like they would dress nice, but they probably wouldn't brush their teeth every day. Just as an example. Horrible example.
Maybe they make it to school. Maybe they don't.
Yeah, maybe they do. Maybe they don't.
They'd be happy-ish.
Yeah, their shoes, they would have really cool shoes on, but they may not be wearing a shirt. So like horrible analogies today, but you get what I'm saying.
I got where you're going. I know where you're going.
In certain areas.
Yes.
So I can find something. I mean, take Adam, our producer. He's sitting in there. That dude, I don't know if there is somebody that is more polar opposite than I am, because everything that he is really, really good at, I am very, very bad at.
Sure.
When that dude starts talking specs and gyros it took to the second word to make up a word that doesn't exist in his world. That's how much I don't understand about what he does. But man, all of this is possible. Like I tease him, I want to be the singer. I want to walk in, sit down, and go.
Yeah.
It's because I have somebody like him in my life that makes it possible to do that.
Sure.
So every person that I come across, I can learn something from. I can glean from a little bit for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So as you start thinking about centers of influence, talking to people out there, start making yourself a list. The people that you write down, the big question that I would have from the beginning is, who wants to see me succeed? Who is it?
That's a great start.
Who is taking an interest in my business? Who's coming up to me at church saying, hey, I noticed you're in insurance. I saw you on Facebook. How's that going?
Yeah.
How are you doing? Is your family doing okay? That's the people. And they may not be, it's going to be hard to find this one that kicks it all off. Mm-hmm. But people that want to see you succeed, invest in that. Run with it, right?
Yeah. Love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
So as we look at these different centers of influence, the next thing I wanted to bring up is, how do I then give back to them?
Okay.
Because if you just run a one-sided operation where I am just milking, you got to feed that cow too. Yeah. You've got to be giving back to them. So I think in giving back to them, the things that I wrote down for that, when you are giving back, you are taking an interest in what they do. Mm-hmm. You are learning their business. You are learning what they do, how they do it, why they do it. You're learning their why. And then you are introducing them to people that can complete their business. Because nobody, I don't care how, I sat down with a gentleman here a while back that is a very, very successful attorney in our area. You've seen him on billboards and all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
And he said, man, I'm looking for a good person that can do this. And it amazed me. I'm like, dude, you're established.
Yeah.
Like, why would you need? And he said, no, I'm missing this part of my business.
That's incredible.
So, and I know people that do that. So I'm like, dude, I got to introduce you to so-and-so. And man, there's two types of people in this world: people that are into referrals and people that care less.
Yeah.
You're finding those people and you're connecting those people.
Absolutely.
And really doing it.
And the more you lean into that, the more you'll surround yourself with, you'll just surround yourself with those people as a byproduct of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And man, your life is just so rich, so intense, so much fuller. So let's wrap it up. Let's kind of review it.
Sure. Love it.
Your homework, if you're an agent, your homework is to, like I said, take out a sheet of paper, write down, who do I admire? Who wants to see me succeed? Mm-hmm. And then you've got to go into the cabinet. There's a little bottle on your shelf that says humility.
Yep.
Take a big old dose of that and pick up the phone and say, hey, can we get lunch? Can we get lunch? I want to talk to you about something that I'm doing. Everything that we've mentioned costs no money.
Just time.
Yeah, you're going to make them buy lunch even.
Yeah.
No, it costs no money. It just costs humility, costs a little pride.
Sure.
And it costs a little bit of time investing in those people.
Sure.
Right? And it's the idea of giver's gain. Again, I cannot emphasize too much. Do not go and say, hey, I want to sit down with you and show you what I do and see if I can benefit you. That's not a bad pitch to somebody you're trying to get in front of and sell something.
But not for this.
But not for this person.
Not for this.
This is, hey, I need help.
Yes.
I need some help, and I love what you do.
Yeah. Right? And you know, whenever you go to make that conversation, it's going to be a little awkward at first.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But I'm the only one making it awkward. Like if I'm coming to you, like I'm the one, we say all the time, like I'm the one that's making it awkward.
Yeah.
You're going to be, you know, if I'm coming to you, you're going to be proud of that moment.
Yeah.
I'm only going to be the one that's awkward. So I take my humility, I prepare, I come to you, business.
If they make it awkward, they're the wrong person.
They are.
They're not the one, and you tell them thank you for lunch.
Yeah.
And best of luck to you. Appreciate you. Yada yada yada.
Yeah.
You know, so find these people. And guys, as we wrap this up, we want to hear from you. Who are your centers of influence? Who is someone that you have said, man, this guy has helped me out? And can you dig deep into it? Let us know, what are some things that we're missing that your center of influence has provided for you, has helped you out with, and has blessed your business with. We want to know these things. We'll pass it on and help other people. All right. So get out there, do some homework. Man, Matt, thank you for being on.
Yeah, it's a great time.
Appreciate this. Yeah.
Great time. Appreciate it, Dallas.
Absolutely. Guys, thank you again for watching, listening, however you're doing it. Be sure and like, subscribe. We want to know who we should be interviewing. We want to know topics that we should be covering. Where are you struggling? What is something that you've been successful in that you want to share with somebody else? We would love to hear from you. Thank you guys for all you do. Thank you for Adam in the control room there, making us look good and knowing things that I don't know and I don't want to know, to be real honest with you. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you next time on the Medicare Sales Playbook.